All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Bill.
We're getting a little bit of a late start. We are dealing with some internet stuff. We are on podcast number 323, and the title of today's podcast is DNA. Every millionaire creative real estate entrepreneur has to succeed.
Oh, I like that. DNA.
Yeah, here we go. This is the description. Forget theoretical advice. What you need to know has to come from experience. If you are looking to author your own story of going from rags to riches, then this podcast is perfect for you. How do you go from very little to earning huge amounts in the dog-eat-dog real estate world with as little ups and downs or hard knocks as possible? What are the secret formulas that always seem to be just outside of your arm's length? How do you start dreaming about making tons of income in real estate to actually making deposits in your bank account regularly? How do millionaire creative real estate entrepreneurs actually do it? Even better, what do they think about or learn that most don't know? In this powerful podcast, I plan to discuss some unheard of mental tools you should know and practice to get into the tax bracket most don't even know exists. Until you start carrying money in dump trucks, you may not even know about this tax bracket. Strap in. This rocket ride is going to be the most surprising thing you've heard in a while.
Bill, I hear the greed glands flowing out there.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Probably mine.
I think you're right.
That's awful enticing.
I think you're right. Okay, so first of all, I would like to, believe it or not, dedicate this podcast to our dear friend, Mr. Jay Duckendorf.
Yes, our friend Jay. And why is that, Bill?
So Jay and I smoked cigars together, and we had a couple conversations at the cigar shop, and it kind of like provoked this idea or thought one late night. And when I mean late for an old guy like me is 11:30 at night when I'm leaving the cigar shop. And I just had a twinge like, oh, I should put together a podcast based on the conversation we had tonight. So Jay, this is for you, buddy. Also, just our housework type stuff. There's a link inside the chat that will actually give you a system for creative real estate on what we're talking about today. Okay, so it's a 10-part series and it's all there. Everything you can think of is there. Okay,
cool.
Also, if you are watching us or listening to us, wherever you're watching us or listening to us, please like us or subscribe to us. Leave us a review if you could. Let us know how we're doing and what we're doing so we could go check it out. And then finally, we record this live stream, on Thursday mornings around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We know that people are working and it's not the best time for people to be here, but that's when we're able to do it. And if we change it, then the podcasts don't happen. We don't end up with 323 podcasts, right, Peter?
323.
Yeah. So if you have any questions and you could break away from work for a little bit, you can go to Facebook or YouTube and you can just put in a comment or a question right inside either one of those tools. And I have a big screen here and I can see it. And I will gladly answer your question as long as it's pertaining to the podcast and the topic we're talking about. If for some reason you have another question, there's two things you can do. You can go to WhatsApp, a WhatsApp messenger, and type in "Let's Talk Real Estate," and you can go and join the group that way. Or you can go to flippinghousesforrookies.com and you could put in a support ticket, and I answer those personally. Just realize that the WhatsApp group is a group, so you're not talking to just me, you're talking to everybody, and the support ticket, you're talking to just me. Okay? So we got through that.
Good job.
In 5 minutes. Okay. Pete, here's my thought today.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to work hard, you may as well get rich. And the quicker, the better. Podcast over. If you're going to work hard, you might as well get rich. And the quicker, the better.
I'm sorry. I'm only laughing because I've done work as a musician where you work hard and don't get much money. I've done a lot of charity work where you work and don't get money. So I figured, like, okay, let's do some hard work and I'll make money. Here I am, you know.
There you go.
Boy. So I understand that one, folks.
Now, I know I'm not the only one who thinks this or believes this, as you just proved. Then why don't more people do it?
Hey, it's too easy to just get a job, go to work, get paid, go home, repeat. Okay. I don't know how to do that. I personally, never mind. Go ahead.
Definition of mindset. The established set of attitudes. What does established mean?
Well, it's been put there somehow. Yeah. It just doesn't arrive. Established. It's like somehow it got created, whether you know it or not.
It was intentionally done, right?
Well, I don't know, Bill. I mean, I guess, you know, things get in people's heads. And I don't think they're like, I'm going to be poor the rest of my life. I'm going to have a crappy job and just deal with it. I don't know. Some stuff just gets shoved in, maybe hypnotically. So I think it's maybe half and half personally.
Okay. Well, that's a whole nother podcast we could do some other time. But I will tell you that I was telling you last week, I was reading this book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah.
And he's saying that it has a lot to do with the environment that you're in.
Well, that's what I mean, because that kind of just gets in you without your permission, even, you know, it just gets there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So definition of mindset, the established set of attitudes, opinions, and way of thinking held by someone. And this is either conscious, non-conscious, or subconscious.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you're talking.
Right? This fixed state of thinking often are, like I said, non-conscious thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? You know, what's a non-conscious thought? You know, you ever drive a car?
Yeah, it's like an automatic.
Right. It's like I just drove to Florida 22 hours.
How much of it were you awake?
I was awake the whole time.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Problem is that I could, to your point, I was on automatic and I wasn't really paying attention to driving. I was just kind of like doing my thing, right? But I got to Florida, right?
Oh.
So these fixed state of thinking often are non-conscious thoughts. Until you really start to ask some good questions of yourself, you have no idea they are just below the surface working against you. So here's what I would like to do today. I'm going to give a list of principles that should give you a new set of guidelines, right? Mindsets. So a new set of guidelines, attitudes, opinions, and strong beliefs. If you want to advance your life, and this is not just for creative real estate, it's just mindsets. So we'll call them precepts, because I don't know what else to call them, or basic laws, or axioms, or maxims, just
belief
any
systems.
One of those belief systems. Yeah, whatever you want to call them. But the point is that we talk a lot about be, do, have. This is be.
Yeah.
This is who you are. This is you as a spiritual being, what you think, what you believe, and how you kind of go at life. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I might summarize that as your attitudes and emotional outlook on life.
Yep.
You know, yeah, people have attitudes. Hey, I ran to my friend at Home Depot the other day. He's a musician, and I think I might have said this last week, but it's the point, mindset. He wanted to do some real estate, maybe fix some houses, make some money. The wife goes, "Oh no, you're not taking any risks." So look at her mindset.
Yep.
So, and he stops. He let her stop her just like that. Bang! Didn't even try. Yep. And she knows nothing about it and just has a fear and just stops.
Yep.
The end.
Yep.
Story over.
End of story from Mr. Rookie himself.
Yeah, I mean, dead before they started.
There you go. All right. So before I start, I strongly suggest you actually get paper and pencil and write down there's 20 of them. These like precepts or whatever you want to call them. These habits or whatever you want to say. Okay, whatever you want to call them. But I would write them down.
They wouldn't be affirmations, would they? That's not right.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so just make sure you write them down, and I would review them often.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on talking about each one. Once I tell them to you, believe it or not, you'll just hear or see the truth in them because it will just reveal.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a few that I want to chitter chat about. So, the ones that just make sense, we won't have a long conversation. And the ones that I feel like are a little bit vague, then we'll talk about them for a couple minutes.
Yep.
Okay? So here we go. Number 1. Now, there's another thing I didn't write down here. So I want to clarify this. There's a couple rules here. One is don't think you already know it. Just when I state it, don't say, "Oh, I already knew that." Just relook at it in a new unit at a time. Don't think you're. I mean, if you're a know best and you already know all of these,
yeah. While you're listening, why aren't you rich right now?
Yeah, why aren't you a millionaire right now with creative real estate? Or maybe you are, and you're listening to. In that case, then
call us up. We'll put you on the show.
Yeah. Or send me an email and let me know what your successful actions are, and we'll brag about you.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is don't discard simplicity. This is what I found in my life. The simpler it is, the longer it lasts.
Well, right? So that's true. Simple doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It's like oxygen.
And if you catch yourself, that's right. And if you catch yourself saying, "Oh, I knew that," and they just put it in words so I can understand it, that's a mistake. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to look at these individually and see how you can, I prefer you write them down, but see how they affect your life and see what your attitude is towards them. And it's very easy for me to go through this list and say, you agree, but are you going to apply it tomorrow?
I was just going to say this, you're saying this is the B, right? This is how you should be inside. This is how you are, your attitude, whatever. But if you don't use it, you don't make it part of your activity or the way you function in life. What good is having, I believe that, but I don't do it. That's not going to work for you.
Right. So this is not a doing this, and this is not a having this. This is a core, like this is who I am. Remember last week I gave an example, or in episode 322, I gave the example of the smoker. So you have somebody that asks another person if they want a cigarette. And they say, "Oh no, I'm trying to quit."
Yeah.
And the other example was, "You want a cigarette?" "Oh no, I'm not a smoker."
Yep.
Right. It was the difference between what they thought. That's what these are right now. "Oh no, I'm trying to quit," or "Oh no, I'm not a smoker." These are the second one. If these are your true beliefs in life, then you will succeed. And I have to tell you, the only reason why I'm able to compile this list is because we just launched Creative REI Reply, which is a creative real estate system in a box. And I don't talk about it much because I'm still going through it, but it's elevated my life. I mean, it's amazing what's happening. And I didn't realize some of this stuff was as important in my life until I started to expand again. And then some of these showed up, like fragrantly showed up, and some good, some bad.
Oh,
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for some of them because I didn't have the mindset. So I'm going through this with you and all the listeners as well.
Cool.
Number one. Yeah, it's real. Number one, conventional wisdom doesn't work and never did.
So you have to define conventional then, so we know how you mean that.
Okay, what do you think it means?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, good. So let's look it up.
Yeah, I want to make sure my idea is what you're thinking, because it's like I guess you mean it's like what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Everybody convenes on it, which means
Right.
everybody gets together. That's probably it.
So based on or in accordance with what is generally done or believed.
Okay.
So it's based on or in accordance with what is generally done or believed.
So if you follow what is generally believed, you have a life that is generally average.
Or generally done.
Yeah. Done.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that this is a good example, but you have a cold and you go to the doctor
Mm-hmm.
instead of going to a naturopathic doctor and saying, "Oh, I could take a vitamin and I can handle the cold."
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or
Yeah.
another good example would be, let me think. Well, you think you have to have a job,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Go to school, get an education, get a job, save your money. Good luck. I mean,
Right.
that's the whole rich dad, poor dad story, right? Get a job, rich dad became poor dad, and poor dad became rich dad.
Right. So here is the caveat of this one. So this is very profound to me.
Mm-hmm.
No complex formulas will get you level jumps in life. No complex formulas will get you level jumps in life. The more you travel opposite of the herd, the richer you will be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a perfect example of this. Would you like me to tell it to you?
Yes, certainly.
Would you believe I could tell it to you in one word?
Oh, sure. That'd be good. It's quick. What?
Ready?
Yeah.
COVID.
Hmm.
Look what COVID did to the real estate business. It advanced us by 5 years or more, just by virtue of being virtual,
Mm.
because nobody could leave their house. So now all of a sudden, sellers and buyers are doing transactions. You can do transactions. There's companies like Notary Cam, CAN, notarycam.com. For like $175, they do your whole closing online.
Huh.
You don't need a title. You don't need all that stuff. Now, there is the issue of how do you get things filed, because they don't do that. But they will do the transactions. They'll do all the signatures and all the signing and everything. So that didn't exist a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. How about this? We do inspections with FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
1,400 miles, 1,500 miles away, 2,000 miles away, 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Right. I had coaching clients from Israel that were doing business in Israel because of COVID.
In Israel or in America?
They lived in Israel.
Yeah.
Doing deals in Arkansas,
right.
South Carolina, Georgia.
Mm.
Living in Israel because of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So complex formulas will not get you. I'm sorry, no complex formulas will get you level jumps in life.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked about this before, which obviously sticks in my mind. So I remember when we were like, when you and I were like boosting things up, and you'd come to my office and we'd do the podcast, and afterwards we work. And at one point I had all these phone systems, answering service, VAs, all this stuff, and we weren't doing any business. And then like finally I unplugged everything, and then you and I just got on the phone and just started talking to people, and all of a sudden we bought a 3-family house like the same day.
Yep.
Which we held on to for what, a year or two, and sold it for 80 grand profit.
90
grand profit.
90,
right?
Yeah.
So
year and a half.
So complex formulas will not get you level jumps in life. I'm going to tell you, and I will go to my grave with this. Call a seller.
Mm-hmm.
That's the system. Just one seller. And learn from it. And then call another one.
Yep.
Number 2, you have to position yourself for wealth. Putting yourself in the path of progress is important. every business has the tipping point or a tipping point, right? And creative real estate, I just said it, it's making an offer. So here's the thing. This is a perfect example for anybody listening to me right now. And I will bet $1,000 right now that less than a handful of people will even listen to me and do it because of fear. I taught this to you, and you could definitely elaborate on this.
Yeah.
When I make offers, do I know how I'm going to pay for it?
No.
I never know how I'm going to pay for it.
No.
Why do I care how I'm going to pay for it?
No, you haven't gotten that far yet. They haven't said yes yet.
I need to make the deal. I need to do my inspection, and then I need to get it. But here's my point. Is that putting yourself in the path of progress?
Yeah, you're getting somewhere.
Right? So like right now you have a deal, we're doing an option agreement, and you're kind of like flying a little bit in the dark because you've not done them. You've done a lot of other deals, but not that type of deal. Right? And you're relying on me, and I'm too busy, and you're frustrated because I'm not like over there, like doing 100% over there, and I'm over here. Now I got my family's in Florida with a hurricane, and like I'm totally distracted. But you don't know how to do it. Did that stop you from closing the guy on signing the option?
No. And my actual thought process was the option was easy. It was $100. I had to make a decision. I wasn't sure how much money I could actually get for the house. I see what Zillow says and all that, but the house wasn't in great shape. And I had a decision to make. Well, do I clean it up? Do I fix it up? Do I make it look nice? Spend a few bucks, $1,000, $500, and maybe I lose it, or maybe make a bunch of money. So I said, screw it. I spend money in all kinds of crap. So I just put some money in it, and we're going for it.
All kinds of crap. What are you doing Saturday night? Can you take me out to the steakhouse?
No,
buy me cigars. Buy me cigars and whiskey.
Not that kind of crap.
All right, so let's talk about another example. Yep. So what would happen if you did some marketing and somebody actually called you up? Like suppose you mailed out letters and somebody actually called your cell phone, which is not the way you should do it, and they said, "Give me the offer right now." Would that be putting yourself in the path of progress?
You're on the phone with a guy with a house.
So let me explain path of progress.
Yeah.
That means that business drops in your lap and you have no choice but to figure it out. Right? It's right there. You can see it. You can taste it. You can feel it. You know you can do it if you just figured this out.
Yeah. I call it get in the game. Get in the game.
It motivates you. It motivates you. So you have to outflow and you have to put yourself in a position or in the path of progress. So it's like you're standing there and it almost knocks you over because here comes this path of progress and it like knocks you over. And it took me a long time to figure this out because you think that you have to be courageous to do this. No, you don't. You have to have faith that and I'm going to promise you, that the only way to deal with this in your mind is to say, the guy wants me to buy his house. What's my next step? It's the only way to deal with it. Because if you try to figure out all the steps at once, you'll never do it. That's why they have the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? So you have to position yourself for wealth.
Yeah.
Right? And real estate is the fastest way that I know that you could do that.
That's right. You can be anybody or nobody, anything or nothing, and you can still do it.
And the way you do that is by putting yourself in the path of progress by just calling sellers and talking to sellers and making an offer. It's just that simple. Okay?
Yep.
All right, good. Number 3, success is a learnable skill. Okay. Let me hang on one second. Success is a learnable skill. Sorry about that. My sister lives in Fort Myers, and yesterday was a hurricane, and she's called me twice. So I want to let her know that here on the podcast. So success is a learnable skill. If you are stuck with the decision of, now listen to this, if you are stuck with the decision of having to earn much more or live on less, which one do you want to do? You have to steal as many successful actions of the people who have done what you want to do this. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to go over that in a minute.
Okay.
Right? So success is a learnable skill. So ask yourself, what decision do you want to take? What path do you want to take, Dorothy, to get to the Oz?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The yellow brick road. Which one do you want to take? Do you want to have more money, or do you want to figure out how to live on less?
Mm.
And you'll be surprised at the answers to that question.
Yeah.
So and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but you want to steal as many successful actions of the people who have done what you want to do. Make sense?
Sure.
Somebody somewhere has done what you want to do.
Well, when somebody finally figures something out, you should take advantage of and learn it. I mean, it happens in music. I mean, look how music has progressed over the years and built on the shoulders of the last people. How many people were inspired by the Beatles to make nice music? Now we build on each other.
Right.
So do that in real estate. Somebody comes up with something intelligent, build on it.
What is the saying? Success leaves clues.
I don't know if I've heard that. Success leaves clues. Sure.
Yeah. Success leaves clues. The first thing I think of is the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel with the breadcrumbs. You know, they leave the breadcrumbs, so they can find their way back. Success leaves clues. Just follow the breadcrumbs.
Well, I've also heard success breeds success, doesn't it?
Yep.
You get successful, you can do it again, do more, and build on it.
Once you have an affluence, it's just a matter of duplicating. I'm going to talk about that too.
Okay.
So number 4, how are we doing so far? We're up to 4. We're doing okay?
Yeah, these are nice.
They're nice. They're just nice, Peter. They're just these are nice.
Well,
These are complacent.
No, it's not that. It's like you can say something, and listeners or me can go, "Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think I can do that. That sounds hard." It can be like that. It can make you put you on edge a little bit. These are like encouraging, I think.
Good.
These aren't hard to do. Besides, let me ask you a question. Is the mind easy to change or not easy to change?
So I have 2 answers to that question.
Okay.
So making a decision is very easy. So changing the mind is very easy. What's difficult is changing the habits.
Good one. But for what we're talking about today, if anybody thinks, "Oh, how do I change my mind?" You just change it.
Right.
I want steak. We don't have steak. Okay, I'll take lobster. Just change it.
Right.
It's easy as changing your pants. Just change it.
Whoa!
Whoa!
This is a clean podcast, Peter. Number 4. Ready?
Go.
Change brings opportunity. Quick change brings quicker opportunity. Now, why would I talk about this at the end of a pandemic? I wouldn't have said this before the pandemic. I wouldn't know this before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Change brings opportunity. A lot of people are afraid of change. A lot of people don't like change.
Yeah.
They're comfortable. They're complacent. They don't like change. Change brings opportunity. Now let's go back a few seconds on this podcast. You just said, change your mind, make a decision. Right? Change brings opportunity. So let's back up even before that, right? The decision I asked you to make. Do you want to earn more or live on less? Make a decision, and then change brings opportunity.
Boy, these things intertwine, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Quick change brings quicker opportunity. Just realize The world is changing quickly, always has. Technology changes quickly, markets change quickly, and most important, people's interests change quickly. Why do you think I always say time changes everything?
Mm.
Right? With our sellers, their interests change quickly. Let them sit there for. I mean, I was in our creative REI reply Facebook page, which I need to get you into all that stuff. I gotta work on that today. I gotta get your account, get you all set up and that stuff. But the point is, I was in there, right? And somebody said, "Oh, I called the FISBO today, and they said blah 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 blah. What should I do?" And I said, "Waste them." House has been on the market 4 days. They still think they have a chance. They have hope. Let that house sit there for 15 days, 30 days, 45 days. Interests change quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Just realize the world is changing quickly. Technology changes quickly. Markets change quickly. And most important, people's interests change quickly. To divert from that for 1 second, I don't have this written down, and we have a lot to do, so I'm not gonna ramble on this. So let me have your imagination wander for a second here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
1922. 1922. Imagine what cars were like. The Model A, the Model T, right? Fords, they were
Yep.
No air conditioning, no windshield wipers. Most of them didn't have roofs, right?
Yeah.
They were like glorified horse carriages, right? They broke down. Tires were really bad. Rubber was really bad. They hadn't really invented good rubber, right? Cooling systems didn't work because there was no antifreeze, right? They were crude as hell.
Yep.
But man, in 1922, as a civilization, we thought, look at who we are. Look at the technology we have.
I got a car.
Coming up from a horse, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not, technology is not measured by where you're going. Technology is measured by where you have been. Right? So people like Steve Jobs look at where are we going? And that's why he made what he made. He didn't look at where are we coming from. All right, so now it's 2022. It's 100 years later. Look at a car now. I mean, we even have vehicles that have bathrooms and showers, and you can live in them, like a house.
Yep.
In 1922, houses didn't even have bathrooms and showers in them. Now we have vehicles that have bathrooms and showers in them, and we can live in them more comfortably than our houses sometimes.
And they're mobile computers too, aren't they?
Exactly. So now the people that were in 1922, you think they would have ever imagined that we would be where we are right now with vehicles?
Couldn't.
Okay.
It has too many inventions built in. Couldn't.
Point of my story. 2022, we are in that same position with this thing called the internet.
Yep.
We have no idea in 100 years from now what the internet will be. We think how cool we are that we have a phone in our back pocket that connects to the internet and allows us to do all the things that we think are really cool. We have no idea where we're going, what we're doing. That's the reason why I write. Just realize the world is changing quickly. Technology changes quickly. Markets change quickly. And most important, people's interests change quickly. Point made?
Absolutely. You got it.
Thank you. Number 5. Money is a convenient symbol that represents and measures the value of goods or service exchanged between people. Money is a convenient symbol. What is a convenient symbol?
Well, a symbol is something that represents something else. I mean, the paper is worth nothing. It's just that it means that you could do something with it. Somebody will believe that it's valuable, or you can exchange it at least.
Right. And you have said in the past, money is backed by confidence.
Yeah, you believe it's worth something. Or a check. You hand the guy a check. Okay, thank you. Here's a car. Thanks for the check. just a piece of paper, but they
So what
believe
does that mean? It's backed by confidence. So if you give me if I give you my product that I worked really hard for, let's say I worked for a week making you a meal. I don't know what else to say, or making you making I don't know what to
fixing my car for me.
Good, thank you.
Fixing
So I spent days working on fixing your car, and you hand me. So I give you my service, and you hand me $100. Why would I accept that $100? Because I know I could take that $100 and I can go buy a loaf of bread. I could pay my electric bill. So it's backed by confidence because I have confidence that that $100 bill will get me what I want.
Yep.
So I take it in exchange for my services or product. Okay. So unfortunately, there's a flip side to this. So money is a convenient symbol that represents and measures the value of goods or service exchange between people. AKA, if you don't deliver a lot, you don't get paid a lot.
Not for long.
If you have a job and you're just on automaticity and you just go into work and you open your emails and you do this and you do that, and 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, you got a meeting. What do meetings deliver? What do they do? Yeah, you have to have some coordination, but why would you spend all day in meetings?
So you don't have to work.
Number 6, the law of income is you will be paid in direct proportion to the value or perceived value you deliver according to the marketplace. The law of income is you will be paid in direct proportion of the value or perceived value you deliver according to the marketplace. Now, there's a little formula here. And this formula you should imprint on your forehead. I'm telling you that
let's
you
write
should.
it in the book. Let's write it in the book for now. Go. I want to hear this one.
Ready?
Write this one down. Go.
Ready? Demand. This is income. This is how you get money. Demand plus supply plus quality plus belief equals lots of money.
Cool. I don't think I've ever heard that one. I like it.
That's because I made it up. And the only reason why I know this is because of creative REI Reply. We have demand, we have supply, we have quality, and we have belief, and it's blowing up. We did record numbers with our launch. We stopped the launch. You can't get it right now because we're trying to get all the pieces put together because we had so many people sign up for it on the launch with only a couple hundred people on a webinar, like 200-300 people. I think it was 200 or 300 people on a webinar. We blew up.
Wow.
To stop the launch because it was demand plus supply plus quality plus belief equals money. Okay, so the law of income is you will be paid in direct proportion to the value or perceived value you deliver according to the marketplace. Okay, so if you have a job, you're getting paid based on the perceived value of the person that is paying you. So if they think that you could be replaced easily, you get low pay. If they think you can't be replaced, which by the way brings me to a whole nother podcast if you wanted to, but there are so many things that you can do in your job, not propitiation, not like propitiation is like begging for friends.
Yeah, sucking up to the boss.
Yeah, I'm talking about little extra things like paying attention to details.
Yeah.
Right? And I could tell you the magical way to do this is to think in futures, not in present time or past. Think about what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day and be there when the person shows up, ready for them. Okay? And that will get you a long ways. Number 7. Oh man, we got to get going here. Number 7, if you want to get paid, you must deliver your value to individual people. Now listen to this, Peter. You're going to like this one. If you want to get paid, you must deliver your value to individual people. You with me?
Yeah, as opposed to what?
If you
It's
want,
not people.
right. If you want to get rich, you must deliver your value to a lot of people or groups.
Okay. Say it again, then.
If you want to get paid, you must deliver your value to individual people.
Okay.
If you want to get rich, you must deliver your value to a lot of people or a group.
Okay.
Now think about this. What's the difference between someone like me? Do I deliver to an individual person? Do I deliver to a lot of people?
Lots of people. Multiple.
Okay, so if you work for your boss, are you delivering to one person or are you delivering to multiple people?
If you work for your boss, well, maybe just your boss.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to get paid, if you want to get paid, what does getting paid mean? That's job, just over broke. You get paid. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to get paid, you must deliver your value to an individual person or people. If you want to get rich, you must deliver your value to a lot of people or groups.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. Says it for itself.
Cool. I like it.
Number 8, timing is everything. Ever heard? Right place, right time?
Sure.
Which brings me to number 9. Choosing the right vehicle at the right time is a rare and highly profitable skill that can be learned. You taught this to me, Peter. You taught me this.
Gee, I don't even know what it is. Keep explaining so I remember what I did.
Number 9, choosing the right vehicle at the right time is a rare and highly profitable skill that can be learned. This is huge in real estate. Seeing the past, present, and future markets as they are happening is important before others have group agreement on it. The market's really bad. The market's really high. There are no houses to buy. Before others, so I'm going to read that again. This is huge in real estate, seeing past, present, and future markets as they happen before others have group agreement on it, so you are there first.
Right.
So you and I went through this, and this is the reason why you're using, because you point blank said to me, your system's not working, Bill. You told me that. You're frustrated. I think you were ready to leave, but you didn't tell me that. In your mind, you were doing that.
No, it's just, it's not even your system, the system, because it's a system. Right. It's not like you created this thing that's just not working. It's, the type of real estate. There's buyers, there's sellers market, buyers markets. There's all kinds of things going on. And it just wasn't working the way we'd done it before, because right now things have changed.
So because you were putting pressure on me, I had to take a look at the markets, like where are we? What are we going to do? And then we came up with this foreclosure and probate, which we're not even doing any of that right now because honestly, I'm not interested in getting leads, which is probably the stupidest thing in the world because I have too many leads and too many deals already. And I went that was from just 2 months ago where I had nothing.
Yep.
It's because of these things I'm reading. I had to change my mind.
Yep.
I had to look at markets. I had to do these things I'm talking about right now. And within a month or two, everything changed.
Yep.
Right? Number 10. Are we good on that last one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So paying attention to markets is important. I think they call that keeping your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, I was taught to stay in present time. That's what I was telling me. Like, my wife would come up to me, the car's not working. What's happened? It was fine yesterday. Who cares about yesterday?
Right.
That's a famous thing that wives might do. No offense.
I'm going to put a little caveat here.
Yeah.
This is absolutely, positively, completely, can't think of any other words, totally impossible to do if you are not in direct contact with the person that's paying you, aka the customer. So if and I have proof of this. I have very solid proof of this.
Yeah.
The TV show is called The Undercover Boss.
I was just going to say it, but you like that one. I've seen.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
So if the CEO does not actually go down into his ranks and actually talk to his seller, the people that talk to his person that pays him money, his fingers off the pulse, he doesn't know what the market's doing. If you are not talking to buyers and talking to sellers on a weekly basis, you don't have your finger on the pulse. If you're not talking to your clients. So when you come up through the ranks and you start hiring people, you must realize that you need to keep your finger on the pulse. Yep. Number 10, you have to learn how to gauge and time the market so you know when to get in, like in 8, 9, which I just talked about, but also when to get out so you're safe.
Yep.
So it's not just getting in, it's getting out too.
Yeah. Okay. I remember our decision on, we had that 3-family we just talked about, and we were thinking, should we refinance it now and, just get better cash flow, or should we sell? And we thought about it. I said, didn't the guy say if we're in a seller's market, we sell? He said, yeah. Okay. I guess we sell then.
Right.
Buy in a buyer's market, sell in a seller. Just do it, and then just move on to the next buyer's market if you can find one.
Totally.
Wherever it is.
We made 90 grand. I thought we made 80, but it was 90. All right. Number 11.
Plus the monthly cash flow. Yeah,
for 3 years. Number 11. Copy someone who is making a mint right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is what most miss with coaching.
Really?
They say they want to do a deal first so they can pay for the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And never do it, or miss the market making a lot of money and lose big.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're stuck on paying a few hundred or a few $1,000s to get started on coaching. Okay. What's the purpose of coaching? To copy someone who is making a mint right now.
Mm.
To copy someone who is making a mint right now. Why do you think Tiger Woods still has a coach?
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't, it's hard to keep an eye on yourself.
Yeah.
It really is. Like you swing a golf club, you can't see what you're doing wrong.
Yep.
You're in the trenches, doing real estate. You might not see what you're missing. That's why I follow you. And I have some friends, I have some personal coaches in my life, and I have them, just talk to me, see what I'm doing. And they have a viewpoint that they can see what I'm doing that I can't see sometimes. Why don't you do this? Oh, great. Thanks.
Right.
It's hard to have an eye on yourself.
And it's the littlest tweaks that make the biggest difference.
Whatever it is.
Number 12, it's often faster and easier to affiliate with someone or a company that's up and running than to start from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which is go back to the coaching. So it's often faster and easier to affiliate with someone or a company that is up and running than it is to start from scratch.
Don't they say hit yourself to a rising star?
Yeah. Well, I can also say that a good example of this is franchising. Why do you think McDonald's and all these franchises do so well? Because you pay your money and you hitch yourself to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you ride their train.
Yep.
Right. I had a girl that answered viewed one time for coaching. In fact, I have to go find her name and find out where she is. She was getting divorced, but she was like some bigwig in McDonald's, and she said that she did something for her husband at the time, and because of her skills to manage these stores, because she was trained by McDonald's, and she was some real bigwig in McDonald's, she turned these stores around, and they were bankrupt, and McDonald's was looking to take them away from them. I didn't know they could do that, and she turned them around. And she turned around and they turned around and they gave him 3 stores for like $10 million. And she said just one of those stores made like $2.5 million a month.
Yikes.
So what do? You it's often faster and easier to affiliate yourself with someone or a company, right? Which, by the way, if you want to know what to do with that here, I'm not trying to pitch a product, but our creative real estate, a creative creative REI reply is exactly that. That's why I designed it that way, because of this precept.
Yeah.
So people can just hitch our franchise
Mm-hmm.
for not a lot of money. Number 13, a business system is a repeatable process that produces results that are the same and profitable.
Mm-hmm.
This is very understated. Usually what happens is a person thinks they can figure things out, then go off for some time, years, to reinvent the wheel because they didn't do number 12, which is hook to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
When all they needed to do is copy someone already successful, do it enough to get it all documented or systemized, and teach others to do it so you can serve longer quantities as you grow. Right?
Sounds right.
So going back to let me see here. I'm wasting time and we're running out. So if you want to get paid, this is number 7. If you want to get paid, you must deliver your value to an individual person.
Mm.
If you want to get rich, you must deliver your value to a lot of people. Right? So what did I just say? This is very understated. So number 13 is a business system is a repeatable process that produces results that are the same and profitable. This is very understated. Usually what happens is a person thinks they can figure things out. They go off and for sometimes years trying to reinvent the wheel. When all they need to do is copy someone already successful, do it enough to get it all documented or systemized, and then teach it to others so it can service longer qualities as you grow. So now you're delivering to groups of people instead of just one person, right? That's my point.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, like, so we dedicated this to Jay, right? So Jay has a system, and which, by the way, he's a radon specialist. The name of his company is J.R. Dockendorf Environmental. If you want to go check them out, J.R. Dockendorf Environmental.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying Jay does this, but he has a system. So why not get it documented and teach other radon people how to do radon? He has a system. Everybody has a system. You do the same things over and over again. So why not document them, right?
You should.
So you need to grow while staying in your effective means of support. What does that mean?
It sounds like you're saying you have to grow, but still keep your stable support systems going.
Right. How do you make a decision?
No,
let me rephrase that. How do you make a good decision? How do you know you're making a good decision?
I know how I might answer, but I don't have your answer. So what would you say?
Well, you're going to say, I know what you're going to say, is that a good decision is for the greatest number of people involved or greatest number of things involved.
Yeah,
right?
It should be.
So I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a different answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're making a good decision if it creates expansion.
Yeah.
So if you're making a good decision and things can expand or get bigger or get better or move easier or get smoother, it's a good decision. Yeah. If you make a decision, and that's for everybody involved. That's you, your family, that's your group, that's mankind, that's everybody. You're
the buyer, the seller.
Yeah. You know, the house, the plants in the house, you know, the dogs and, you know, everything. Everybody's happier because of your decision, right? Or You make a bad decision and it contracts.
Mm.
It doesn't expand, it contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's how you make good decisions. Is it expanding or is it contracting? 14. If you need to learn quickly when growing, no, I give that to you again. You need to learn quickly when growing how to be the conductor of the orchestra. Most commonly known as work on the business, not in the business.
Mm.
Most important, your business cannot depend on or be limited to or by any one person. And even more important, that shouldn't be you. And this is the entrepreneur's number one downfall.
Really?
Because they think that they're the only ones that can do it. And they think that when the only way things get done is when they show up and everybody listens. When in fact, what they've done is they've violated number 13, which is a business system is repeatable, process that produce results are the same and profitable. They're not documenting that. They're not writing them down. They're not training their staff
right.
what's successful, or training the people, and AKA training the customers.
Right. And that's not the easiest thing to do all the time either. And
No.
it's easier not to bother, but in the long run, you get screwed because you're there being the boss all the time. And you don't have a business that you can leave. You got a job, a different kind of a job.
Right.
That ain't right.
With less freedom than a regular job. A lot of entrepreneurs I know would be like, I wish I could just work 40 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, what good is that?
Yeah. So my point is that if you need to learn quickly and you need to grow, if you're a one-man show and you think the business can't run without you, right? Then there's the problem of your business. And the reason why is because you haven't documented successful actions. You don't have good policy. You don't have good establishment. You don't have good measurement, like statistics or some way to measure people. All those things are out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Number 15. Once you have something that works, you concentrate on duplicating it. You do that by asking who can help me, like an affiliate, get my product or service into the hands of the largest numbers of people ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
So like I hooked up with REI Reply to create creative REI Reply. And that's why we had a good jump start, because he already had a crowd. I had a crowd, he had a crowd. Now we're going after other crowds, right? So what's going to happen is even though we are putting out a campaign next week that is just for the individual, I'm more interested in what affiliates can we make or create that have large crowds so we can jumpstart or leap into the future.
Sure.
Instead of just trying to get onesies and twosies on ads, YouTube ads and stuff like that, which works perfectly, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If I really want to grow quickly, I need to go find someone that can use our product or is an affiliate or closely related to our product. Sure. Like for example, why couldn't I sell creative REI Reply to a realtors? Like my friend Alan, who's the realtor, they got 90 agents up there.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't they use creative REI Reply? They could.
Oh.
And it would work better than what they have. Right?
Oh, wow, cool.
Number 16, create wealth by using the cookie cutter approach. Once you do number 15, you concentrate on duplicating it to a new level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm buzzing through these at the end because these are out of reach for most of the people I'm talking about, because you haven't gotten the lower ones done yet.
Oh yeah. That's cool. So you can start at the beginning, start working your way up, working your way through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number 17, ask again who or what market is different than I'm using now. We just did this, right? What market is different than what we're using now? Could ask who, and not the market that you're in, a different market. So we were doing out of area owners, and now we're doing foreclosure and probate. Mm-hmm. Because we ask who could buy or sell a huge quantity of my product or service at once, or an ongoing or on an ongoing basis.
That's right.
Right. So ask who. So we did that, which is going back to the changing of the change is good, right? So we switched gears, and now we're doing foreclosure and soon probate.
Mm-hmm.
So we changed the group. There's more people in that group that we could talk to that we can help.
Right. There's some motivation. There's some problems.
And if you remember right, when we made that decision, which was AKA I made that decision, I said to you, we need to get in these markets because I was thinking about this. And you're like, okay. And you kind of asked me in a roundabout way. We were in a car coming back from, I think, New Jersey or North Carolina or wherever we were, right? Mm-hmm. You asked me how come? And I'm like, well, think about it. What markets never really change with the economy? They go up and they go down, but they never go away. And that's foreclosure and probate. Because foreclosure, there's always money problems and there's always somebody not paying. And with probate, there's always people dying.
Right.
Out of area owner lists aren't that way. I mean, they don't always want to sell, right? So all the other ones. So anyways, ask again who could buy or sell. So I did this in 2021. I decided to, we just talked about one thing I decided. The other thing I decided to adjust my portfolio for a possible down market. So I sold properties that were taking my time. They were annoying. And poured those profits into paying down debt on properties that were taking very little of my time.
Nice.
So now my portfolio, believe it or not, is half of what it used to be, but I'm making just as much money with less time.
Perfect. That's the ideal situation.
Right. 18, work smarter instead of harder. This is one of the ones you've heard all the time, right? If you're not using leverage, this is what it means. And this is important because this is explaining work smarter instead of harder. If you're not using leverage, especially correctly, you're not working, you're working too hard and earning too little. If you don't have virtual assistants, if you don't have an assistant, you don't have a bookkeeper, you don't have all the pieces and the parts, that's all leverage. Having a bookkeeper is leverage. Having an assistant that works, even if it's like in Jay's case, somebody to go clean the tools, right? Somebody to wash the truck or whatever. I'm not saying if you don't have those leverage points, you can't put yourself into $500 an hour thinking if you're doing that, right? Because you have to go back to the earlier one where I talked about you need to orchestrate, right? You need to orchestrate the whole, like musical chairs. You need to orchestrate the whole thing, right?
Right.
You need to have thinking time. You need to be able to you need to refresh your batteries. You can't always be working. You're the brains of the operation, so act like it. You get paid, executives are some of the highest paid people on the planet. Why is that? Because they're leveraging their thoughts via labor, parts, materials, environment. They're looking for markets that need their product or service, and they're going there and presenting themselves, right? It's all very important. Number 19, then you start to think, how can I provide people with my products or services while I sleep? This goes back to number 4, changing brings opportunity. And again, I came up with this one because lo and behold, 2 nights ago at 4 o'clock in the morning, my phone goes ding, woke me up. I actually have a special ring every time we make a sale for Creative REI Reply, and the chimes were going off. And somebody at 4 o'clock in the morning woke me up because they made a sale, right? Number 20, in every business, especially the creative real estate business, the headaches are in the front end. But the money is in the back end. And we don't have time to elaborate on this because we're 4 minutes past the hour. But in every business, especially the creative real estate business, the headaches are in the front end, but the money is in the back end.
That makes sense. You have to get through some crap.
Right.
And then it's like the pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow, not at the beginning. You got to get through the thorns. You got to get over the hill, the creek. And the other end of the rainbow.
There you go.
Gold.
The purpose of the saying. Like Jay Abraham once said in his book, Getting Everything You Can Out of Everything You've Got, great book, by the way, the only 3 ways to increase your business is, number 1, increase the number of clients. Number 2, increase the average size of the sale per client.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, increase the number of times clients return and buy again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that again. Number 1, increase the number of clients. Number 2, increase the average size of the sale per client. Number 3, increase the number of times clients return and buy again.
Okay.
Knowing the 20 mindsets and getting to the only 3 ways to increase a business is significantly less daunting if you only have to focus on what we covered today as your successful blueprint. And creative real estate is one of the fastest ways to build, manage, and exit a business known to mankind. Okay, so I would like to attribute T. Harv Eker for some of those precepts because I read them in 1996, and his book was called Steep Wealth. It was a Kindle book.
Okay. Steep Wealth.
Yeah. So some of those precepts came from him. I learned 1996. I learned some of them. It took me 20 years to practice them, but some of them I was wondering. It's not like I figured all of them out. I copied somebody else, right? So
that's the point.
So the thing that I'd like to end off with today is there is a reason why so many people want to buy and sell real estate, especially creative real estate. Because I beg anybody listening to me right now to send me a support ticket. If you do and you have a good answer, I'll do something for you. I don't know what I'll do. I'll give you something of value to answer this question. What other business or industry could you work once and get paid so many times? Now, maybe you could say a business, but you might have to work 10 years to get your business that way, or 3 years, even a year or 2 to get staff and products and buildings and whatever, right? Where else can you go to pick a phone up off of Zillow and call it for sale by owner and get one house that they're willing to take a creative real estate deal, which means take payments until they get paid off, and have that at your doorstep within 30 days?
Mm-hmm.
You work once and get paid multiple times, unless, of course, you're wholesaling, which is a job, and unless, of course, you're trying to do rehabs and retail, which is a job, right? I'm talking about creative real estate. I'm talking about lease options. I'm talking about subject to. I'm talking about owner financing. I'm talking about the difficult deals that you have to work at understanding and learning. Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, you know a guy like you and I, where you can plug into something like Creative RER Reply and just get the system in a box, which is why we developed it. And there's no other way to do it, right? There's nobody that's done that. We're first on the market with it because I'm following my precepts. But the point is what other thing on planet Earth could you do that? Work once and get paid multiple times, which is the reason why so many people are gravitated unconsciously or non-consciously to real estate. Is for that exact reason. Plus, like I said, at the end, you could sell it, right? So, let me reread that. So, knowing the 20 mindsets and getting, and creative real estate is one of the fastest ways to build, manage, and exit a business known to mankind. So, if you decided you wanted to exit, what are you selling? Are you selling a business? You could. But you just sell off the houses, sell off the assets. Mm-hmm. Bing, bang, boom. And you're done. My first partner and I had a business for many years. We bought dozens and dozens and dozens of houses for about 6 years. We ended the relationship. I just sold all the houses off. End of the business. Got a chunk of dough too.
There was still one left recently, right?
Yeah, we got one left. Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, we stopped in 2009, and it's now 2022, and we still and I'm going to get a chunk of dough all these years later.
Yep. Like money in the bank, but better than money, it's solid real estate.
Yep.
That goes up in value instead of down in value.
Yep.
That's my pitch.
Yep. Okay, Peter. So we're all done. Next week, podcast number 324 is New Discovery. Why creative real estate rookies are failing at getting deals. So that's my spiel for today. I hope you wrote them down. Jay, I hope this helped you. If not, I understand. No big deal. We'll talk about it in the cigar shop. I really created this podcast so people could just flourish and prosper, because that is my true desire. Okay, over and out. Rocky said, thank you guys. Thank you, Rocky. Okay, have a good week.